Many Tesla features are designed to operate quietly in the background. They do not issue alerts or demand attention, which means most drivers rarely think about them. Over time, that lack of visibility can make important systems easy to overlook. This video explains 11 built-in Tesla functions that affect daily driving, comfort, and overall ownership confidence. There are no tricks or shortcuts presented here. The focus is on clear, practical explanations intended to help drivers understand what their vehicle is already doing during normal use. Function number 11. Automatic brake disc drying. Wet weather behavior. After driving in rain or wet conditions, some drivers notice that the brakes feel slightly different for a short time. There is no message displayed and no warning light, only a subtle change in how the pedal feels. This can prompt uncertainty about whether something has shifted or gone wrong. Tesla vehicles are designed to manage brake disc moisture automatically. According to Tesla's vehicle documentation, the Model 3 and most other Tesla models is equipped with brake disc wiping. When cold or wet weather is detected, the system repeatedly applies an imperceptible amount of brake force to remove water from the surface of the brake discs. This light contact removes moisture before it can reduce friction and affect braking performance. Because these actions occur quietly in the background, drivers often never notice when they happen, which aligns with the design intent to preserve consistent braking feel without requiring attention or action from the driver. The system is part of the normal braking and stopping function and is not a corrective action for wear or damage. Understanding that this drying behavior is intentional can help reduce concern when the brake feel seems different after encountering wet road conditions. Number 10. Cabin overheat protection logic. What it actually prioritizes. Cabin overheat protection is often misunderstood. Some owners expect it to maintain cabin comfort, while others assume it will operate consistently regardless of circumstances. When the system activates or remains inactive in ways that are not expected, confusion is common. This feature is not designed for occupant comfort. Its operation is based on temperature thresholds intended to protect interior materials from excessive heat exposure. When cabin temperatures exceed those limits, the vehicle may use ventilation or cooling to reduce heat buildup. When temperatures remain outside those thresholds, the system does not activate, even if the cabin still feels warm. This explains why the feature can appear inconsistent. Its purpose is to limit prolonged exposure to high temperatures that can affect interior surfaces, electronics, and components, while also managing energy use. It is not intended to maintain a continuously comfortable cabin environment. It is important to be clear about the system's role. Cabin overheat protection is not a safety feature for people or animals. It exists to protect materials. Understanding that distinction helps owners form accurate expectations and avoid relying on the system for situations it was not designed to address. Number 9. Regenerative braking reduction at high state of charge. Some drivers notice that immediately after charging the vehicle to a high level, the car does not slow as noticeably when the accelerator is released. The familiar sensation of regenerative braking feels weaker, even though no alerts appear on the screen. From the driver's perspective, this can seem unexpected. This behavior arises because regenerative braking depends on the battery's ability to accept incoming energy. When the battery is already near full, there is less capacity available to store additional energy. To prevent overcharging, the system automatically limits how much regenerative braking can be applied until the battery level decreases. According to Tesla's own documentation, vehicle deceleration due to regenerative braking may vary depending on the current state of the battery, including limited regen when the battery is full. Third-party technical analysis also notes that this reduction occurs as part of safe charging behavior and battery management, which can be refined through software updates. This adjustment can feel sudden to drivers accustomed to strong regenerative braking during routine use. It is not a malfunction or a sign of degraded components. It reflects the battery management strategy reacting to the state of charge. As the battery level gradually decreases during driving, regenerative braking strength returns to its typical feel without any driver intervention. The settings become normal again without action from the driver. For viewers interested in straightforward Tesla ownership guidance, subscribing is an option. Number 8. Auto HVAC sensor rebalancing. Why airflow changes on its own. At times, drivers may notice airflow shifting between vents or small changes in fan speed, even though no climate controls have been adjusted. This can seem unexpected when the cabin already feels comfortable. The climate system relies on multiple internal sensors to manage airflow efficiently. These sensors track factors such as temperature variation, sunlight exposure, and air distribution within the cabin. Using this information, the system makes gradual adjustments to fan speed and vent output to maintain balance. The objective is both comfort and efficiency. Instead of operating at fixed settings, the system makes minor corrections to prevent unnecessary cooling or excessive system use. These adjustments are usually subtle and often go unnoticed unless a driver happens to perceive the airflow change. This behavior is sometimes mistaken for a reset or malfunction. In practice, it reflects normal system operation. By handling these refinements automatically, the vehicle minimizes the need for manual adjustments and maintains stable cabin conditions over time. Number 7. Automatic headlight calibration after software updates. After a software update, some drivers notice that headlight behavior is not exactly the same as before. The change is typically subtle. The beam pattern may appear slightly different on the road. Transitions between lighting modes may feel smoother or slightly delayed, or the headlights may respond differently when driving through curves or changes in speed. Because no physical adjustment has been made, this can raise questions about whether alignment has shifted. In most cases, these changes are software-related. Tesla vehicles use digital control to manage headlight behavior, including responses to steering input, vehicle speed, and surrounding conditions. When a software update is installed, adjustments may be made to the logic that governs these responses. As part of that process, the system recalibrates headlight behavior while the hardware remains unchanged. This recalibration is not a response to wear or damage. It reflects updated instructions that define how and when lighting output is adjusted. Because the change occurs immediately after an update, it can feel noticeable even when the difference is minor. What matters for drivers is that this does not indicate mechanical misalignment. There is no abrupt change in headlight position, and no adjustment is required unless visibility is clearly affected or a warning message appears. Under normal conditions, these changes represent updated software behavior intended to improve consistency or performance and typically fade into the background as drivers adapt. Number 6. Smart window indexing. Cold weather and door behavior. One behavior that often stands out to new Tesla owners is the movement of the windows when a door is opened or closed. The glass lowers briefly and then rises again once the door is shut. This can seem unusual, particularly when the movement becomes more noticeable in colder weather. This function, known as window indexing, serves a protective role. Tesla doors are designed so the window fits closely into surrounding trim and rubber seals when closed. To prevent the glass from contacting those seals, the system lowers the window slightly as the door opens. After the door is closed, the window returns to its normal position. Cold conditions can make this behavior more apparent. Rubber seals become less flexible at lower temperatures, and moisture or ice can increase resistance. By lowering the window momentarily, the system reduces stress on the glass, seals, and trim, helping prevent damage or long-term wear. These movements are intentional and do not indicate a problem with the window motor, alignment, or calibration. They reflect a design choice meant to protect components over time. While the motion may draw attention initially, it is simply the vehicle managing normal operation, particularly in colder or more resistant conditions. Number 5. Steering assist torque monitoring. Hands-on detection. Many drivers are surprised when the vehicle requests steering input, even though their hands are already on the wheel. From the driver's perspective, nothing appears different. The wheel is being held, attention feels present, yet the reminder still appears. This can make the system seem overly sensitive or inconsistent. The explanation lies in how driver engagement is detected. The system does not identify hands directly. Instead, it measures torque, defined as the slight turning force applied to the steering wheel. A relaxed grip that applies gentle, continuous pressure is more detectable than holding the wheel firmly without movement. This is why lightly pressing or subtly resisting the wheel often satisfies the system more consistently than a tight, stationary grip. From the vehicle's standpoint, torque indicates active steering involvement, even when movement is minimal. Hand placement alone does not provide that signal. It is important to understand that this process does not assess where the driver is looking or visually confirm hand position. It is a mechanical measurement rather than a camera-based evaluation. Once drivers understand what is being measured, the reminders are generally easier to interpret and respond to calmly. Number 4. Battery preconditioning trigger logic. More than just navigation. Some drivers assume that battery preconditioning only occurs when navigating to a supercharger. While navigation can trigger the process, it is not limited to that single condition. This becomes evident when battery warming begins without a charging destination set. The battery management system evaluates several factors to determine when preconditioning is appropriate. These include ambient temperature, recent driving behavior, anticipated power demand, and upcoming driving conditions. When the system determines that a specific battery temperature will be beneficial, it initiates warming in advance. The purpose of this behavior is efficiency. A battery at an appropriate operating temperature can deliver power more smoothly and function more efficiently, particularly in cooler conditions. Preconditioning reduces energy demand later and can improve responsiveness during acceleration or charging. A common misunderstanding is viewing preconditioning as location-based. In practice, it is behavior-based. The system responds to expected energy use rather than destination alone. Understanding this distinction helps explain why warming can occur without direct input and clarifies that the system is operating as intended. Number 3. Automatic mirror dimming thresholds. During night driving, some Tesla owners notice that the mirrors dim in situations where it may not be expected. In other cases, headlights from behind appear less distracting than usual, even without any manual adjustment. Because this change happens quietly and without on-screen notification, it can initially feel unpredictable. Automatic mirror dimming uses light sensors that continuously monitor brightness around the vehicle. Rather than responding only to headlights directly behind the car, the system evaluates overall glare patterns. It compares light from multiple directions and assesses intensity relative to surrounding conditions. When glare is likely to interfere with the driver's vision, the mirror surface darkens gradually. This design reflects how nighttime glare actually occurs. Visual strain can come from multiple vehicles, streetlights, or illuminated surroundings, not just a single light source. By responding to relative brightness instead of individual headlights, the system helps reduce discomfort without requiring driver input. The result is reduced eye fatigue and fewer sudden flashes of light during longer drives. Because the adjustment is smooth, it often goes unnoticed until lighting conditions shift again. What may appear inconsistent is usually the system adapting to subtle changes in brightness. This behavior does not indicate a sensor issue or oversensitivity. It reflects normal operation intended to support comfort and visibility across varying nighttime conditions. Number 2. Seat occupancy and weight sensing logic. Drivers sometimes become concerned when seatbelt reminders or airbag indicators change based on who or what is in a seat. A light object may trigger a warning, while a passenger shifting position can alter the system's response. Without context, this can appear inconsistent. Tesla seats use sensors that detect occupancy, weight, and movement. These inputs are continuously processed by the vehicle's safety systems, allowing them to adjust in real time rather than relying on a single fixed threshold. This approach allows airbags and seatbelt alerts to respond more accurately to real-world conditions. The system can differentiate between an occupied seat and one holding an object, and it can adapt when weight shifts during driving. These changes are not errors, they reflect the system updating its behavior based on current sensor data. The goal is safety rather than uniform behavior in every situation. Because people sit, move, and place items differently, dynamic adjustment allows safety systems to respond appropriately. Changes in alerts or indicators usually reflect this adaptive process, not a malfunction. Number 1. Tesla's background software health monitoring. Many owners assume that software activity only occurs when an update is installed. Once an update finishes, it can appear that the system remains inactive until the next version is released. In practice, Tesla vehicles continue running software checks in the background during everyday use. These background processes monitor system performance over time. Instead of waiting for a clear failure, the software looks for patterns that indicate changes from normal operation. This can involve shifts in how components respond, how frequently certain systems activate, or how performance values trend during routine driving. The importance of this approach lies in timing. Some issues develop gradually and do not produce immediate or obvious symptoms. By identifying irregular behavior early, the system can provide service teams with clearer context before a driver notices a problem. This can make service visits more efficient and reduce the need for repeated explanations or diagnostic steps. It is also important to distinguish the purpose of this function. The focus is vehicle health, not monitoring driver behavior. The software evaluates system performance rather than personal activity. Understanding that distinction helps clarify why this monitoring operates quietly in the background. For owners, this means the vehicle is continuously assessing its own condition, even when everything feels normal. While this does not affect daily driving behavior, it can support long-term reliability by allowing potential issues to be addressed before they become more significant. Tesla ownership is not shaped by a single setting or habit. It reflects many small systems operating quietly together, often without drawing attention. When those systems are not well understood, normal behavior can appear confusing or concerning. When they are understood, that uncertainty typically diminishes. The objective is not to change driving habits or track every detail. It is to understand what the vehicle is already doing and why certain behaviors occur as they do. Over time, that understanding helps set more accurate expectations and makes everyday ownership feel more predictable. Individual pieces of knowledge do not transform the vehicle on their own, but they accumulate. They reduce second-guessing, unnecessary concern, and guesswork. In practical terms, that clarity can be more valuable than any single feature. If clear, practical explanations of Tesla ownership are useful, you may choose to subscribe for more videos like this.